Hi, friends. What a week. What a week in America. Hello. Hello, friends. Welcome to Woke Wednesday. How are all of you doing? I'm a bit tired and aggravated and annoyed with this week. And I know that I say this each and every week because it's only Wednesday, but I am aggravated. Dear friends, tell me, you know the drill. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust the camera here. Tell me, you know the drill, an emoji, drop it in. How are you feeling this week? How are you feeling today? Drop an emoji into the comment section and let me know. Let me tell you how I am feeling. Let me drop an emoji, my favorite, into the comment section. There you go. I'm just full of explicitives. So today's show, yes, exactly. Everyone feels the same way. I've been asking this on Twitter for quite some time, so I'm going to ask you all here. You know, we are roughly, 10 months into this new administration, right? They've been around for 10 months. Exactly, almost to the day. And we are 10 months from the insurrection, right? A little over 10 months. How are you guys feeling? Do you feel like, the vote that you placed last year in November, do you feel like this changed you in any way? Changed your anxiety, your frustration, your anger? Do you feel better now that Joe Biden is president and Donald Trump is not? Tell me in the comments section. Honestly, do you feel better right now that Joe Biden is president of the United States as opposed to Donald Trump? Is there a different feeling than you've been having? Because I've been grappling with this, right? Okay, so Kendra said worse, right? That you're feeling worse. And I want to agree with you here that I too am feeling worse since the Biden administration has come in. Kendra says more anxiety. I too feel like I have more anxiety, and here's the reason why. Because I foolishly expected that I was going to feel a sense of calm, knowing that Democrats were in control, that adults were back with their hands on the wheel, and that they knew what needed to be done because they sat around for 5 years. They sat around for the entire 4 years of Donald Trump and literally saw him enable the destruction of our democracy, the cruelty, the legislation, the bans on certain countries being able to enter into the United States, the pacts that he made with arms dealers. They sat there for 4 years and watched all of this happen. And I say 5 because Donald Trump told you who he was when he began to run, right, in 2015. And this is what I'm saying. So picture this as, where the fuck is the sense of urgency with this administration, right? And so you say, yes, you feel better, but the thing with me is I feel the same. Where the fuck is the sense of urgency? Are we the only ones that realize that this country is hanging on by a fucking thread right now? That Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema might as well be considered domestic terrorists on their own with the way in which that they are fucking with our democracy? Imagine having the ability, right? Imagine having the ability right now to pass historic legislation that would not only fix problems that we are experiencing now, right? Like the fact that parents have to make choices between whether or not they can be in the workforce or they have to leave the workforce because they can't only work to pay for childcare, right? So in this infrastructure bill, we're looking at credits that are going to allow parents to be able to afford fucking childcare, right? So that they can stay in the goddamn workforce. Because also, who the fuck has to leave the workforce? It's always women, right? So we also have, over the past year, had historic fires, historic storms, historic money that has been spent to rebuild communities that have been devastated by these once in 1,000 years, once in 100 years that seem to be happening every fucking year. Those storms cost money. The ignorance to fucking climate change costs money. But this old fucking King Cole fucking Joe Manchin, who, by the way, is raking in at least close to or half of $1 million a year through his son's energy company. His wife is racking in over $600,000 with their energy company, right? He only makes, so listen to this. This is what I want folks to understand about Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin, as a senator for the state of West Virginia, brings in $184,500, okay? $184,500. That's how much taxpayers pay that motherfucker's salary to not do a goddamn thing, but I digress. The amount of money that he makes from his family's energy company is well over $500,000 a year. So you weigh those two things. Who is putting more money on a yearly basis? And that does not include the money that he also gets from Big Coal directly, not through the energy company, but directly as funders of his PAC, right? You're talking about millions of dollars. So who do you think that you're going to be holding space for? And who do you think that you're going to be voting on behalf of? The people that are paying you $184,000 a year? Who, on that salary alone, you wouldn't be able to afford your $700,000 yacht? $700,000 yacht Joe Manchin has. Do you know what the average salary of folks in West Virginia is? It's like in the $30,000, $40,000 range, right? But that motherfucker has a $700,000 yacht. So if you're saying to yourself, you're Joe Manchin, right? And you have no morals, you have no values, you have no scruples. And you're like, well, I'm getting $184,000 over here for my constituents, but Big Coal over here is paying out me and my wife roughly $1.2 million a year. And again, that is not including the direct money that his PACs receive from Big Coal. That is just through the energy company. With him and his wife's salary combined, they are bringing in $1.2 million a year. So where do you think that his allegiance lies? Do you think that it lies with making sure that our country, the entirety of our country, is safeguarded against rapid climate change? The crisis that we are currently in, not the crisis that is down the road 20, 30 years away. No. The one that we are currently living in. Do you think that he is going to be beholden to his constituents and beholden to the American people? Or do you think that he's going to be beholden to the people that are putting $1.2 million in his family's pocket every year? You see, this is the problem with fucking money in politics, right? This is the problem because he is not beholden to the people of West Virginia. The people of West Virginia have not made Joe Manchin a millionaire. Joe Manchin's net right now, right? $8 million. That's how much he is worth. $8 million. So when you look at this and you're just like, you hear the media say things to the effect of, well, I wonder where Joe Manchin is going to be on this issue. Like, let's all stop performing. You know where Joe Manchin is going to be on the issue of coal versus clean energy, solar energy. You know where he is going to be with regard to setting limits on particular companies that are at fault for dirtying up our fucking air and increasing our carbon footprint, right? They are the ones that are responsible. It's not the fucking paper straw versus the fucking plastic straw, right? It is not about us recycling. It is about manufacturers and factories literally muddying up our air and our water. But he isn't going to ensure that in this current legislation as it stands, that we are able to hold these companies accountable and make them mandate that they decrease their fossil fuel emissions. No, he's not going to do that. Why? Because he's bought and fucking sold like the hoe he is for coal. That's what he is, right? They are his pimps. And so he goes out and he does a little two-step and he pretends to be a fucking moderate when he is not. He is an obstructionist. And he's an obstructionist because he's a greedy, capitalistic-driven son of a bitch. That's the truth. So we no longer have to pretend that Joe Manchin actually cares about America or gives a fuck about his constituents. Have you guys seen the 11th film? Do you know the group 11th Films? That they put out all of those videos during the election targeting Donald Trump and targeting other members of Congress? So here's the thing. 11th Film put out a video on Joe Manchin. And they put out this video that shows you that West Virginia, in terms of education, healthcare, income, is like at the bottom, right? 47, 48, 50 in terms of those metrics. But Joe Manchin has been in control of the state for 40 years. He's been representing West Virginia or as a senator, as a congressman for 40 fucking years. So for 40 years, this state has been just confused why these people keep voting for him and why we as Democrats say, well, it's the best that we can do. We can't put another Democrat couldn't win in coal country, but we're not winning. Do you understand that? The American people aren't fucking winning. It is not enough to just say, oh, well, we can't run anybody else, or this is the best that we can fucking do. I am so tired of the goddamn excuses that Democrats come up with. We are no better off now than we were a fucking year ago. And that is the God's honest truth. If you really look and consider it, the only thing that this administration has done over the last 10 months, which is no small feat, so let me say that, but the only thing that they have done is a vaccine rollout. And do you know what was reported this week? That we are at the fucking bottom of the world in terms of our ability to get this country vaccinated. 57% of the country is vaccinated. We are at the bottom of the world. And yet we have more money, more resources, and according to this administration, everyone should have access to a vaccine within 5 miles of where they live. But only 57% of the country is fucking vaccinated. And this is the only thing that this administration right now can count as a goddamn win. Right? We have done nothing in the 10 months with regard to holding anybody accountable for an attempted coup over our government. No one. We just did a vote, another procedural, performative piece of bullshit, where we listened to Chairman Benny Thompson of the 1-6 Commission tell us that no one is above the law and Steve Bannon is going to be held in criminal contempt, which will go forward for the next several fucking months. But guess what? There are no federal marshals that are going to be kicking in the door, waving the 4-4, getting that motherfucker at the Congress to tell them exactly what it is that he knew, or that he was one of the people that was conspiring to overthrow the fucking government. So what difference does it make? You know what I would love? I would love for us to treat the white and the wealthy and the fucking privileged in our criminal justice system the same way we treat black, brown, and low-income people. Because there is never a myriad of excuses that we come up with where we're not throwing black and brown people in prison for low fucking infractions. He was actively involved in a war room, Steve Bannon was, coming up with a plan for the 1-6 insurrection, and he's still walking around free. But the person that was potentially dealing what? Marijuana on the fucking corner before it was legalized is in jail right now? We throw people in jail or kill them over a counterfeit fucking $20 bill. Steve Bannon, along with all of the people that spoke at the Stop the Steal rally, were literally a part of an attempted coup on our government, and no one is in jail. How is that possible? And we're still sitting around saying, oh, we don't have enough evidence. But you have enough evidence as a police officer to put your knee on a man's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds? But you have enough evidence to have thrown Khalif Browder, the young kid that ended up committing suicide after he was held in fucking Rikers for 3 years for the thought that he stole a backpack? That ended up not being fucking true and was made up by the police, and he killed himself after his experience there. But Steve Bannon, who participated in in trying to overthrow our fucking government is sitting around drinking scotch somewhere and smoking a cigarette and on the fucking news. I just, I tell you, people ask me all the time, Danielle, like you seem so full of anger, so full of rage, like you need to, relax. And I'm like, the only way that I relax is if I actually see some fucking accountability. The only way that I'm going to relax moving forward is if I don't feel like I wasted my fucking vote and I wasted my fucking voice in all of 2020 to get a fucking new administration and a new goddamn Congress to sit around with twiddling their fucking thumbs and telling me that they need more, right? You don't get to ask me for more when you do the bare fucking minimum. You know that the American people right now, right? Bill, waiting on an infrastructure bill right now that is being whittled down as I fucking speak. From 3.5 trillion being whittled down to 1.9. The media keeps calling it a spending bill. Do you know what it is? It is your fucking money that is supposed to be invested back into your communities, right? So that you have bridges to fucking drive over, so that you have fucking broadband in the event there's another global fucking pandemic. It's your goddamn money. But they call it it's a massive spending bill, as if what? We're taking $3.5 trillion and we're going to fucking Bloomingdale's? That's not what's happening here. I'm telling you, there is a revolutionary part of me that is like, you know what? Everybody stop going to work. Stop going to work, stop paying fucking taxes, and drive this entire capitalistic halt. Drive it to a fucking halt. Because I am so tired of all of us being cogs in this machine, being grinded to a motherfucking pulp, working 40 plus hours a week, and can't put food on the table, having to play 3-card Monty with what kind of fucking bills you're gonna be able to pay, because you can't pay them possibly all at once. No one in this fucking country should be working 40 hours a week and can't pay mortgages and rent and put food and medicine on their goddamn table. That is a fucking disgrace. But you got King Cole up there making sure that his pockets are fat. You got Kirsten Sinema raising fucking money in Europe this week. Bitch, that's not where Arizona is the last time I checked on a fucking map. You raising money from people that you don't even fucking represent. So you know good goddamn well she don't give a fuck about her constituents. She runs from them. They're running her down in the bathroom and she's saying, oh my God, this is just such an imposition. Do you know what an imposition is? You're fucking oh my God, see, and this is when I have to stop myself because I'm a feminist, right? But I want to call her everything but a child of God right now because I believe that this woman, this person, right, is a piece of shit. I believe that this woman, right, is up to no fucking good. And I believe that just as people have started to comb through Joe Manchin's fucking finances, I think that we should start to comb through Kirsten Sinema's finances. And you know what you will find? That a lot of her fucking money comes from Big Pharma. That a lot of her fucking money comes from really unseemly places. Right? She couldn't even bother to go to the White House. Do you understand that? That she did not go to the White House for a meeting with White House staff. That they came shucking and jiving up to her fucking office. That she has the audacity to say, oh, I'm not talking to anybody. I don't even talk to the other senators. I only talk to the president. Bitch, who are you? And you know what? I'm not too old to remember when the LGBTQ community was all rah, rah, rah. Because she was bisexual. Like, that meant something. Right? Like, she's one of us. Get the fuck out of here. Folks, I don't know how to say this, every single fucking week. But like, in all honesty, we are absolutely fucked. The only thing that is going to stop us careening towards authoritarianism and fascism is a revolution. That is it. That's the only place that this is headed, right? Because we thought initially, no, we'll just vote. We'll go out, we'll stand out in 7-8 hour lines in the midst of a global health pandemic. Then we'll pat ourselves on the back because we did what we were taught to do. We voted in mass, right? And guess what? The politicians that we voted for are sitting around with their fucking thumbs up their asses, doing absolutely nothing but being sure to tell us that, they just need more power. I'm just trying to think about, what do you think that the mantra is going to be for the 2022 midterms? What do you think that the Democrats are going on? Vote for me, I do nothing, but we need more so that we can do more of nothing? Right? Because you see, Republicans are doing everything, right? They're just sitting back because they know Democrats ain't shit. And what Democrats love to use as a fucking excuse is that, oh, our tent is just so big. No, you have no order. There is no fear here. And yeah, I believe that sometimes people should be scared shitless, like those spineless pieces of shit Republicans. Do you know the thing that I love about them the most? The fact that they will always vote in line, no matter how fucking wrong, no matter how disgusting, no matter how disparaging. They will all always vote in lockstep because they know that that's how power proceeds. Not Democrats, though. No, no, no. We got Manchin and Sinema, who are acting as the president and the vice president of these United States. And you know what? We didn't get to fucking vote for them. How about that? How about that they are wielding more power than Joe Biden and Kamala Harris right now, the people we actually did fucking vote for? And you know what? Let me go off on something else, because this also pissed me off today. So fucking saw on the news, right, that Joe Biden right now is in Scranton, Pennsylvania. You know that he loves to go to fucking Scranton to go pander to the fucking working white class, because apparently the only people that work in this country that are worth a visit from the president of the United States are working class white people, right? Every fucking administration, whether it is Republican or Democrat, will always find themselves in some fucking white rural area talking about how they're bringing back jobs and factories and this, that, and the other thing. Do you know who really makes up the working class in this fucking country? Black and brown people. That's who makes it up. When is the next time we're gonna see a visit to, I don't know, a fucking inner city or a black rural area? Right? Or, I don't know, a Native American fucking reservation or anywhere that isn't just fucking white people. They're not the ones that need the help. And they're also not the ones that helped you get fucking elected, if you remember that. But maybe you will in the next election, when black and brown people and young people decide not to fuck with you anymore. And then people will say to me, Danielle, don't say that, because then what? Then what? Tell me how we are better off right now than we were last year. Tell me what has changed. Not a goddamn thing. What has changed is that last year I had hope. And this year I recognized that that hopefulness was foolish. So maybe when people decide that they're just gonna opt all the way the fuck out, they're gonna opt out of work, they're gonna opt out of voting, and they're gonna opt out of performing democracy instead of actually fucking living in one. Because that's what it is that we've been doing. It's a performative democracy. It is political theater. It is not real. People really don't have a say in our government and how it works. You know why? Because you're not wealthy. Because you're not giving millions of dollars. Right? Those are the people that have the say. They throw us breadcrumbs. They want us to be thankful and say, well, you know, as Chuck Schumer will say in a couple of minutes, right after they have whittled down this infrastructure bill, it's better than nothing at all. That's the fucking Democrats' real mantra, is always, aren't you happy with this bullshit, fuckery that I'm handing you? Shouldn't you be applauding me for that? Because, it was this or nothing. I'm tired of the fucking ultimatums. It's time that the people start giving our representatives ultimatums. And it's time that we start saying, you know what? Fuck you, Joe Manchin. I don't want you to go anywhere in this country and feel fucking comfortable. I want you to be fucking hassled every single way. I want people to show up at your job, at your home, at your wife's work, at any place, at your restaurants, in the bathroom. I want people harassing the fuck out of Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. Right? Like that, because that's all we have left. It's either we opt out of the system or we allow the system to crush us. And frankly, I don't want to be crushed. I'm over it. And I don't want to be given something and being told that I should just be grateful for the bare minimum. Nothing is getting done right now because of two people that none of us voted for, unless you happen to be from West Virginia or Arizona. They are holding this country fucking hostage right now. And it's so funny to me because I'm thinking to myself, where does Biden think that he's going? Does he think that there's going to be a 2024? Does he think that we're going to have an election and then Democrats are going to lose and they're going to be like, oh shucks, guess we'll try again next time? You're never winning an election again. Do you get that? This is it. You do nothing to fix voting rights. You do nothing to secure our elections and hold the people accountable who try to obstruct it. We're never having an election again. Our elections will look like the way they do in Turkey and Hungary. You know, the two countries that Fox News loves to hold up right now because they're led by an authoritarian, which is democracy just is an illusion because the whole fucking system is crooked as fuck. That's America. So enjoy your bits of sunshine, find something joyful to do, watch another Netflix show, have a cocktail, smoke some marijuana, do whatever it is that is going to stabilize your emotions. Meditate. But what is coming, what's on the horizon, dear friends, it's going to be worse than our worst nightmares. If you thought Donald Trump was bad, imagine Donald Trump, but savvier. Imagine Donald Trump, but knowing you could do whatever you want because there's never going to be another election again. Imagine Donald Trump, but with the support of every single governor in the country because he will be able to do what he tried to do during COVID, which is withhold money from blue states that he doesn't like, right? And then they'll crumble to his whims because he'll be holding the purse string or somebody like him. I wish this administration would wake the fuck up and act like we're in urgent times. I wish that they would stop parading around and performing this bullshit of going to Scranton and Ohio and talking to the working man and doing all of that bullshit. Stay in Washington and fucking do your jobs, right? I don't want a comforter in chief. I want a fucking warrior. I thought I voted for one. I was sadly mistaken. That is it for me today, dear friends, on this wonderful Woke Wednesday. If you want more of me, then head over to Patreon at patreon.com/wokeaf for $5 a month. You get 5 one-hour shows each and every week. And starting next month, I have a very big surprise, but you can only learn about that if you head over to Patreon. As always, dear friends, power to the people and to all the people power. Get woke and stay woke as fuck. And yes, I always post this show right after, so you can head over to my IG page and see it and share it from there. Ciao, friends.